A widely paraphrased and doctored conversation I listened to recently between two podcasters. And what's your opinion on the moon landings? Well, do you think we landed on the moon? Well, you see, that's not really important. No, not important. I guess, you see, what's important is, the myth. The myth around the moon landings, the myth is what's important. I agree. I totally agree. And what would you say to those who claim the moon landings were fake? I would say, shut the fuck up. Hell yeah. The truth will get us nowhere. And I'm sick and tired of those idiots out there who are searching for the truth. I'm sick to the teeth of them. No, it's important we believe that the white man got to the moon. It's very important. These truth seekers want to take away that. So I say, fuck 'em. I say, shut the fuck up. Hell yeah. The above dialogue could be deemed divisive. It's the kind of dialogue that could enable the springing up of an insuperable barrier in the middle of this netherworld. Those who until recently had decried the faith-based religions are now stepping into one of their own making. For them, the truth is old hat. The truth is outlandish. The truth is for those who are too intelligent to be fools, but not intelligent enough to fall into their ranks, those of the dissident right priestly caste. In essence, these priests have become what their younger selves loathed, superstitious old hacks. And, without too much exaggeration, it can be observed that there is a direct correlation between these priests' collective opinion on the moon landings and their fear of contagion several months into the scamdemic. The overwhelming majority of them likely having purchased a dozen or so PCR tests to see whether they were going to croak or not. Now let me say from the outset that I am not wholly against utilizing myth. I am aware of the power of it. I am aware of how a single myth can move mountains. However, it is at this late stage of civilization, of one that has got into bed with the machine and rested its head on convenience, that new forms must come into being, the tendrils of which need to be lassoed along ground that has been made virgin by weeding out lies, by extirpating the myths that have long since borne tedium, the carbon copies of themselves, or mutated at such a pace so as to become altogether meaningless. Could it be said that when something has been hammered into 1,000 different shapes in just a few generations, that it loses its malleability and becomes a thing bereft of form and understanding? What could the belief in the moon landings foster in a people who are now floundering under the yoke of savages and Joker-esque grinning merchants? Is it not time to expose the lies? Is it not time to pull away the curtain and show up the wizard who's had us both grovelling and clapping like seals for longer than one cares to estimate? Perhaps history books, though rewritten in bright letters with a new slant, are no longer legible. Perhaps it is now that we must lay siege to every single myth, whether it seems to benefit us as a people or not, given that each myth has in it more poison than antidote. Those who tell folks like us to shut the fuck up are free to go back to a past that never was, and to gather up the crumbling myths that had rotted on the branches seasons before landfall. In this world, there are people who enjoy fairy tales as children, but dislike them as adults when they are doctrinaire, when they are the gospels that keep them crouched up in rabbit hutches. And then there are other people who are made for the hectic life of pacing back and forth in deep craters.